What's up, good people? You know what time it is. It's Monday, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, right here in the beautiful city of London. It's 5 o'clock. It's time for a little better with Paul. Now, today, if you remember from last week, right, you know that today's a special day. Today is Mentor Monday, right? We come to you live every Monday and Friday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And Monday is Mentor Monday. Friday is Expert Friday. By the way, this Friday is going to be hot, just like last Friday was hot, right, with our guests. But Mentor Monday is my opportunity to come to you and teach, right? Because I'm a teacher at heart. That's really what I am, right? I run around saying I'm big brother, right? I'm big bro to a lot of folks, but I love to share everything that I know. Today is a topic that is incredibly popular. But before I get to the topic, let me say what's up to my sis, Linda. I see you, Linda, clearly. What's going on? My man, Ricardo, is here. He said we're in the building. I see Sherez. I see Nadia. I see Periscope popping. There you go. It's Lisa Tobin. That's what I'm saying. Nadia saying she can't wait. What's up, everybody? Let me go to, see, I have to go to LinkedIn. And once again, I tell everybody this is that I use StreamYard for this stream, which I love, by the way. But it doesn't yet pull in the LinkedIn comments. It pulls in YouTube. I can see everybody on YouTube. I can see everybody on Periscope. I can see it. I can see you, but I have to go here for LinkedIn. So what's up? I see Ron Foster's on LinkedIn. I see Diane Donald is on LinkedIn. I see Jamal Hardman is on LinkedIn. I see Debbie Barnyard. I see Ritza Hendricks. I see over 100 people right now streaming on LinkedIn, which is great. Let me tell you about today's topic. All right. Oh, look at this. My sis Rita, who was a guest, says she's excited about this topic. Let me tell you a little bit about today's topic. Today's topic, quite honestly, I could talk about for 5 hours, right? And I realize I'm not going to do 5 hours, although Ron Foster is probably laughing right now because he keeps telling me these need to be 90 minutes instead of 60 minutes. So right now, there's no promise as to how long today is going to be. Let me tell you about today. By the way, we're bringing back Better with Paul Tribe today. So get ready. So right now, a lot of people said last time that I didn't give you forewarning. Right now, get everything right. Get everything right. Get the lipstick on. Get everything right. Because in just a few moments, I'm going to drop the link so you could join me live. Let me tell you about today's topic and why it's so important, especially today and what we are going through as professionals. In 2008, my wife and I launched a matchmaking business in the United States. And between 2008 and 2015, we grew the business. Now, keep in mind, I had never been in the love industry or the matchmaking industry before. I knew no one, not one person in the industry, not one person in the space. And between 2008 to 2015, we grew it to one of the largest matchmaking agencies really in the world. I say in the United States, but really in the world. By 2015, we had several people, but one large organization in the United States come to us and try to buy our company, right? Buy the organization. And when I sat down with one of the gentlemen from this organization who was trying to make the acquisition, he said, "Paul, we want this company because we want you. You're a thought leader in the matchmaking space. And so we want you." I thought, thought leader? What's a thought leader, right? I was like, what is a thought leader? I had always assumed that a thought leader is for, the Warren Buffetts of the world, right? Thought leader is, the Reginald Lewises of the world, people who were at the top 1%, right, in the world. I thought you had to be, a PhD. I had no idea what a thought leader was. But when they said, "Paul, you're a thought leader in the matchmaking space," I thought, wow, this is interesting. What is a thought leader? So I started researching everything I could about this concept, thought leadership, right? And thought leader. And what I did, and this is something that I advise everybody, is if there's something that you're really interested in, right? I always say research it and then teach it, right? Research it and teach it. So in 2015, when that acquisition discussion started happening, I then researched everything I could about thought leadership. And then I thought, wow, there's an actual pattern here. So I started to look at what are the things that I did in those 7 years, and I jotted those down. And I said, I'm going to create a course on thought leadership. So then in 2015, I started teaching thought leadership. Then, as I'm teaching thought leadership, I said to myself, you know what? This is great being a thought leader in the matchmaking space. I would love to become a thought leader in another arena, a completely another space. So I used everything that I knew, right, to then apply it to small business / entrepreneurship. In particular, I call it micro business, right? Businesses that are, less than 100,000 in sales, right? It's solopreneur stuff. It's not venture backed. That was a space that I really wanted to focus on. So I started focusing on that space. 3 years later, so we're just talking 2018, I get called in from USA Today, right? Editor, head of business for USA Today. She calls me in and she says, Paul, I would love for you to start writing for us at USA Today. But in particular, I want you to write in the small business section because you've really emerged as a thought leader in small business. I was thinking to myself, wow, this is incredible, right? 2 industries, thought leader, right? Labeled by respected, organizations and institutions. I thought there's something here. There's something here. So that empowered me to even talk more about thought leadership. The point here is that there is tremendous benefit that you derive from thought leadership, from becoming a thought leader. This is not for everyone. But what I want to do today is I want to break down step by step how I believe you can become a thought leader in your industry. This is not for everyone, but I do believe anyone can become a thought leader, but it takes an enormous amount of work. And I want to strategically talk about how you can do it in the shortest amount of time possible. All right. I see we're almost up to 1,000 people already live. This is great. This is great. All right. So now, you know what I want to do? Let's bring on the Better with Paul tribe first. Okay. So now, if you weren't here last week, here are the rules. Okay. I like to bring on, just like remember back in the day, Arsenio Hall had his dog pound, right? That was weak, but anyway. But you remember the dog pound, all right? And if you don't remember the dog pound, it's all good. Go YouTube Arsenio Hall. You'll see there was a select group that used to sit not in the audience, but right off stage with Arsenio, right? Small number of people, and he would go to them every now and then. This is what I call my tribe. I'm creating this is the Better with Paul tribe. Every Monday, it's going to be a different tribe. So I now have some rules because we started it last week, right? So the rules are real simple. One, if you were in the tribe last week, you can't come in the tribe this week, okay? Can't come in the tribe. I'm sorry. Well, let's just say you can't come in. So because you want to give somebody else a shot. We had a superb tribe, but let's give somebody else a shot. Secondly, is last week, I was able to bring in, so I could basically put 8 to 9 people in the queue, but I can only put 6 people on screen. So today, unfortunately, I'm going to have to reduce the Better with Paul tribe down to only 5 people. It's the first 5 people to use this link that I'm about to give you. You will come on live with me. You'll be here for the entire session. I'll go back and forth with you. And then at the end, the audience will do everything we can to support you. Okay. All right. So Bridget's like, the tribe is so much fun. All right. Bridget said the tribe. Bridget is sad because Bridget was in the tribe last time and she wants to come back. Bridget was brilliant, by the way. Ron, Ricardo, the whole tribe was incredible last time, guys. So here's the thing. By the way, Randy's like, no need for a barber free. By the way, Randy, every 3 days, I will say this real quick on the cut. I stopped going to a barber about 8 to 9 years ago. And the only reason why I stopped going to a barber is because it wasted too much time. I would go to the barber. I'd be in there for 2.5 to 3 hours. I was like, I can't spend 3 hours in the shop anymore. So I said, forget this. $20 clippers, right? So that's how I do it. That's how I do it. All right. Now, let's get ready. Okay. All right. LinkedIn. Okay. You ready? Here we go. First 5 people in the queue. Here we go. All right. Let's see. First 5 people in the queue. Here we go. Here is the link to join me today. Here it goes. Bam. There it is. Let's see who the first 5 people are. All right. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Pat says there's one person who's supposed to return. Absolutely. Pat, if I see her, I will bring her in. Okay. I'll definitely bring her in. First 5 people. Let's see who joins us in the queue. Now, remember, there's a lot of people watching live right now, right? Please come proper, right? Don't come naked. Anybody comes naked, I could see you like before I pull you on screen. I can't put you on screen, right? I can't put you on screen. Not that we don't all want to see a little flash, because I always say it's all a little flash here and there is fine. But if you flash the screen, what's going to happen is that LinkedIn and Facebook and they're going to kick us off, and we don't want that. All right. So we don't want any flashing going on. We just want people to show up, right? Show up looking proper. First 5 people to show up, get in. All right. My man Brandon's laughing. Y'all know, right? I mean, it's okay to see a little flash here and there. It's okay. Yeah, here you go. Marshawn said no strippers. That's the thing. No strippers. By the way, you can be a stripper and join. That's fine. I have nothing against if that's your source of income. I'm just saying you can't strip on Better with Paul. That's all I'm saying. So Marshawn, we allow strippers. That's okay. That's okay. All right. Judah saying don't give them ideas. Okay. All right. So now, while folks are joining, I want to say this real quick, right? Because I know it takes a second for everybody to get into that queue. While folks are joining, I want to just once again, actually, no, I have to leave the link up. All right. I see people starting to come into the queue, which is good. I see folks starting to come into the queue. All right, here we go. They're coming in. Now, once I tell you that so already we have 3 people in the queue. They're coming in. Once we're at capacity, that's it. All right, I see 4 people in the queue. Okay, I see 4 people in the queue. All right, everybody in the queue, stay with me real quick. Stay with me. Okay, all right. So now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start bringing on our tribe. All right. Now, tribe, let me tell you, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on y'all because last tribe was incredible. All right. So tribe, I'm going to bring you on real quick. Let me take this off the screen because we are now at capacity. All right. So here we go, tribe. All right. So tribe, I want you to come on real quick. Let me make sure the sound is working one by one. I'm going to come on. Let's check it out. Theo.
Hey, how are you doing?
Uh-oh, Theo.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me okay?
Uh-oh. All right, Theo, let me give you a second to get that sound.
All right, give me 1 second.
All right. Theo, all right, 1 second. All right, we're going to give Theo a second, all right? Because if the sound's not working, we can't keep you, but we're going to give Theo a second because Theo is a great name. All right, let's go to number 2. I'm going to come on. Let's check it out. Theo. How's that sound, Hannah? Uh-oh, they said they could hear him. Uh-oh. Hold on real quick. Let me go back, Anna. I'm sorry. I can hear you, by the way, Hannah. Let me say, all right, Theo, they said they could hear you. The crowd, you know what? The audience is really riding for Theo right now. They're like, Paul, look, you better get your system right, Paul, because we could all hear Theo. Uh-oh, Theo, where you at? All right, I'm coming back to Theo. All right, I think we're going to have some fun with Theo. So, Hannah, let me check. How do you sound?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Perfect. All right, so Hannah, where are you watching from today?
Florence, South Carolina.
South Carolina, that's what's up. All right, so you feel good?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
All right. Hannah's looking real chill.
Really cool.
Real chill. All right, everybody say what's up to Hannah. All right, we're going to come back to Hannah. We're going to meet number 3. Here's Nakata Brown. Uh-oh, I see the Malcolm X. I'm with it. He's eating. He's got lunch. Uh-oh, he's eating lunch right now. What's up, my man? How you doing?
What's up, Paul?
Hey, man, I'm good. How you doing?
Yo, I literally can't believe I'm on here with you, man. But I've been following you for years.
Oh, man. I appreciate that, man. Nika, where are you watching from?
I'm in Jamaica. I'm in Kingston.
Everybody,
Hometown, bro.
everybody,
Hometown.
I need
You already know.
some round of applause. I need some woo. My man from Jamaica. All right, Nakata, we'll be right back to you.
Certainly.
All right, here we go. All right, I like the tribe already, y'all. I like the tribe already. Let's see. Let's go to number. Let me go back to Theo. Let me make sure Theo's good. Theo.
Hey, can you hear me now? Can you hear me okay?
Theo,
No,
I can't. No.
I don't know
I
what
can,
it is.
I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay. You got me. Good
All
one.
right, man. You know what? That was my fault. I think my volume was turned down.
Okay.
And what I love is the audience was like, look, Paul, we can hear him. He's good.
Okay.
All right. So Theo, where are you watching from?
I'm in the DMV area, Columbia, Maryland.
Columbia, Maryland. That's what's up. My god sister live right there in Columbia. All right, from the DMV. Theo, thank you. Theo's down with the tribe. All right, Theo's going to be back with us. So we have 3 strong tribe members. Let's go to number 4. There she is. This is my sis, Kemi. Your mic is muted, though. I can see that your mic is
Hey,
muted.
brother, how are you?
There she is. There she is. I can hear it. I'm good. Where are you watching from?
Ellicott City, Maryland.
Okay. Ellicott City, Maryland. Another DMV in the house. All right, Kemi, we're going to come right back to you. Kemi's number 4. Let's go to number 5 in the tribe. Now, number 5, by the way, guys, I see, wow, you know what? The fellas are heavy today. The fellas are representing today.
Thank you. I made the cut.
Oh, man.
My brother.
My man, Brandon.
Yeah,
Brandon,
what's good? What's good?
Hey, man, it's good to see you. Where are you watching from, Brandon?
You know, Strong Island, always Long Island, man.
always. Brandon, how are you feeling? Because I know
I'm great. I'm great. Just trying to get that negative, but I'm blessed, man. You know, physically, I'm great. You know, we beating this thing. They're still quarantining, but you know, the wife holding me down. I'm straight, bro.
All
I'm
right,
straight.
good deal. All right, man. It's a blessing to see you. All right, guys, that's Brandon. So real quick, everyone else who's in the stream, I'm sorry. We just hit our 5. Let me bring everybody back on so you can see who the tribe is today. You can see the whole tribe. You can see everybody we're working with. There goes the tribe today, everybody. I like it. We got DMV holding it down. We got Jamaica, holding it down. We got South Carolina. Okay, so now, tribe, let me start with a question. All right, we're talking about thought leadership today. Okay, we're talking about thought leadership. My first question, just real quick, I just want 1-2 quick hits from everybody. What do you believe are the benefits? Give me 2 quick benefits that come from being a thought leader. What are benefits that come from being a thought leader?
Engagement. I'll say that. What people want to hear, and you also receive that immediate feedback. So I'll say engagement and feedback.
Okay. So you say, Hannah, you're saying increase engagement, right, on content you put out. You have a lot of feedback because you are a thought leader. Okay. I'm with that. What else? What are other benefits of being a thought leader?
I believe change and impact are the greatest. As long as you're making change and you're leaving impact and people's worlds are changing, being a thought leader in that aspect is huge.
Yeah. I love it. When you're a thought leader, you literally can change an industry. You literally can change how people think outside the industry. There's perhaps no bigger impact you can make than being a thought leader. So Kemi, I'm with it. What are some other benefits, folks?
Access, another stream of revenue. That's always, let's keep it real. Money.
Of course. He's watching from Long Island. He's about the money. He's got Howard. He's got the prices represented. He's about the money. That's what I'm saying, right? You can make more money as a thought leader. Absolutely, right? All kinds of money, from consulting to speaking. Also, the moment you become a thought leader, you get a higher premium. The moment that I started being recognized as a thought leader in the matchmaking space or entrepreneurial space, I started getting paid more to do the same speech.
And so Paul, one last one too, Paul, which is what I think my thought leadership is in, is you expand your networking. It exponential.
I'm with it. Expand your network, your connections, right? Love it. What else? Theo, Nakata, what do you think are some benefits of being a thought leader?
I would
I
say,
believe one. Oh, go ahead, Nakata. You got it.
okay, subject matter expertise recognition. So that means that people will say, okay, well, if you're a thought leader in a specific area, they'll be like, okay, I know I can depend on this guy to give me information in this specific subject matter.
Absolutely. When you're a thought leader, there's instant trust in the community. And the beauty too about what Nakata is talking about, first of all, he's watching from Jamaica. So anything he says, I'm going to agree with today, by the way. But secondly, the thing about trust, in my opinion, is that when you have trust and you have that credibility, you could lend that trust and credibility to others, right? So you could help others to instantaneously get trust in the community. So I'm totally with that. And then Theo, bring us home, Theo?
Also, you gain the ability to groom and create additional thought leaders.
That's a good one.
There you go. You could groom others, right? So, and by grooming others, that adds to exponential change, right? Exponential change. So I think these are all beautiful. What I love too is I see LinkedIn real heavy, and I see also Facebook real heavy, giving other suggestions on other impact, right? Or other benefits that come from thought leadership. So now, here is something that I want to talk about before we get into 7 steps. I want to talk about what is a thought leader. How do you define a thought leader? Because I'm going to tell you what, from teaching thought leadership, going back to 2015, I will say that 99% of my students who came in, we didn't necessarily agree on what a thought leader was. But when I break down what a thought leader is, I think we're all going to, hopefully everyone's going to have an aha moment, right? Aha moment. All right. So now let's say goodbye to the tribe real quick. Tribe is going to come back. All right. But we're going to say goodbye to the tribe real quick. All right. All right. But by the way, I can see one person who I didn't bring on screen holding in right now. She hasn't dropped off. She's in my queue. And I love that tenacity. She's like, I know Theo's mic is going to go down, so I'm going to take his spot, right? I can see her waiting right there to take somebody's spot. I love it. All right. The tribe looks real good. Okay. In order to get through the 7 steps of a thought leader, let's talk about what in the world is a thought leader. Now, to do that, I want to give you some context. In my opinion, there are 4 constituents, 4 types of people, if you will, that exist in every single industry. There's 4 types of people. All right, 4 types of people. Let me pull up my screen real quick. All right, I'm going to give you my opinion on the 4 types of people. All right. Here we go. All right, here we go. In my humble opinion, here are the 4 types of people in every industry. All right. You with this, LinkedIn? All right. Let me break it down. In every industry, you have consumers. These are people who consume what's being created in the industry. So actually, let me even walk back just a quick second. I want to make sure we're all on the same page. Above an industry, you have what's called a sector. All right. All over the world, there are hundreds of sectors, right? You've got like the defense sector. You have the education sector, right? You have sectors. These are major groupings of industries within an economy. That's really what a sector is. Then within a sector, you have an industry. An industry is really what an industry is it's a grouping of businesses with the same business model. Same business model, right? You could have, the sneaker industry, or if you're in the UK, you call it the trainer industry, right? By the way, I'm really starting to call all things UK like terms. Like I call sneakers trainers now. This in the UK is not a sweater, it's a jumper. Today, this shows you how my kids are really converting into everything UK. Today, Kingston, my oldest, asked me, he said, Daddy, do you fancy an apple? I was like, what? You were born in DC. What do you sound like? He said, do you fancy an apple? All right. So anyway, in industry, right, there are groupings of businesses with the same business model. So for an example, let's use this for an example. Let's use the matchmaking industry as an example today, just to make things easy. There are consumers within the matchmaking industry. Who are those? Those are people who are buying matchmaking services. Those are people who are maybe watching matchmaking television shows. Those are people who are maybe reading articles about matchmaking. Those are people who are maybe listening to podcasts about matchmaking, right? You have all of this. These are consumers. That's one part of every industry. Number two is you have producers. Now, I'm not just talking about TV producers, although those are included. Producers is everyone, all the workers that are creating all of the products and services and content. So in the matchmaking space, that could be an administrative assistant who works in the matchmaking agency. That could be the accountant that works in the matchmaking agency. Could also be the accountant, right? It could be a television producer who produces a television show about matchmaking. It could be the sound engineer who works on a podcast about matchmaking. You have producers, right? There's a wide range of producers. This is in every industry. Now, I'm getting ready to come to a question. So tribe, get ready. I'm gonna come to you on a big question. Big question. All right. Third is you have influencers. Now, influencers, this type of person has been expanding in definition over the last few years. Exponentially, it's been expanding. But I like to say there's pretty much three types of influencers, right? Three types. You have micro influencers. I would quantify these as folks who have less than 100,000 people who really follow what they do, like really devour what they do, really listen to them, right? Less than about 100K. And then you have macro. The macro folks have been growing exponentially as well, right? Maybe between about 100,000 and 1 million people who really follow what they say and what they do. And then you have mega. Mega are the folks that have over 1 million. And by the way, a mega or a macro or a micro influencer isn't always an individual. It could be an institution, right? It could be, NBC as a network. It could be Netflix as a streaming company. It could be a blog. It could be a conference. You could host a conference, right? It could be an organization like the Urban League. I know Brandon's in the Urban League. It could be, the Urban League. Institutions, individuals, I'm saying entities. There's entities that are influencers within the space. And then you have thought leaders. What's up, by the way? I see Portugal, folks in Portugal watching. My favorite vacation, by the way, Portugal. All right, let me get off. Let me stop because we were going to say, Paul, you get off track. All right, then you have thought leaders. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring back the tribe and I want to ask the tribe a very important question here. All right, so we got Theo, we got Hannah, we got Nick. Oh, shoot. You know what? I can only get. All right, so we only have part of the tribe back right now. All right, we'll bring back the other tribe later. But let me ask this important question. All right, Theo, Hannah, Nakata, here's my question to you. These are the 4 types of people in an industry. I just defined a consumer, a producer, and an influencer. My question to you is, what is a thought leader? And here's what I wanted to do. I want you 3 to talk it out. I'm going to give you 1 minute, just 1 minute to talk it out among the 3 of you. And then at the end of the minute, I'm going to come back and I just want one of you to tell me what that definition is. Okay? You guys all understand? All right, ready? Your 60 seconds begins now. Talk it out loud. We could all hear you.
Okay, so our question is, what is a thought leader?
Yeah, given the 3 definitions that he's given above, what do you think a thought leader would be?
My first thing that comes to mind is Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs is basically the brainchild behind Apple. So he was the one who saw the vision and created the vision. And then from there, I believe you had your producers. and then your consumers and influencers, which would be like your marketing team. That's just my thought.
So, in essence, thought leaders will be influencers producers who influence consumers.
No, so my thought process, the thought leader is more so the brainchild of the idea. So let's say you decide to create a platform. So you would be the thought leader because you create the platform, and then from there we need the consumers, producers, and influencers to make it go live.
All right, my friends, I love the discussion.
Mhm.
Okay.
So you're basically saying the thought leader would be the person who produces the platform or creates the platform.
No, they would be the one who creates the idea.
I think a thought leader will
Idea.
facilitate all of that. Will be
Okay,
the
so-
Yeah,
conduit
that's why I
and the
was
producer.
Okay, so
Like-
here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna jump in real quick because it sounds like you might have three. You guys hit me real quick on what do you
guys hearing
believe?
him?
Oh yeah, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, Nakata, can you hear me or no?
I can't.
Oh, you can. Nakata, you can. All right. So what is the definition of a thought leader? All right, and I'm asking the audience as well. Audience, what do you believe the definition is of a thought leader? And Theo, just give it to me real quick. Hannah, Nakata, give it to me real quick. What do you think it is?
I'll say just the innovator behind an idea. And yeah.
Okay, I love it. That's succinct. Theo's saying an innovator
Not
behind
hearing
an
you, Paul.
idea. All right. Hannah?
I think a thought leader is a conduit who takes what the producers and all of those the influencers have and packages it for mass production or utilization.
Okay. Okay. All right. So it's the conduit that is the channel basically between those. All right. All right. I love it. I think a lot of people are agreeing with that. Nakata, can you hear us? Or can you hear me? Oh man, Nakata can't hear me. Okay, Nakata, I'll bring you back. But so here's what I'm going to do. Hannah, Theo, I like what you're saying. I'm going to give you my opinion. Okay. And audience, by the way, it's interesting. I see right now the audience has different opinions of what a thought leader is. So I'm looking on LinkedIn. Tashana saying a thought leader leads their industry. Anthony saying it's not necessarily the one who creates the vision. Mark Berlin says it's the creates the driving force, right? Diana Donfield is saying it defines the vision and direction. I see lots of different answers. But I'm going to tell you what, if you have to get off of this session, all I want you to remember is the following slide that I put up. I've been analyzing thought leadership for at least 5 years, right? Been teaching it for at least 5 years. I believe there is a definition of thought leadership that you can't even Google. Let me give you my thought on what the definition is, and then I'll defend that definition. All right. So now, I believe a thought leader is a person who has this. This is my opinion of a thought leader. I believe a thought leader is a person who has an audience of influencers who are true fans. Now, let me break down what I mean by this. Okay, let me give you my opinion on this before people disagree, right, with what I'm saying. All right. The first is that keep in mind, actually, let me go back. Let me go back to this slide real quick, the first slide. All right. I see some people agreeing with me on this. All right, let me go back to the first slide. The first slide is okay. Let me stop sharing. I got to come back here. All right. So first, I'm curious. Who agrees with me on this one? If you agree or disagree, put it in. Put in agree or disagree, and let's see if I've flipped your opinion by the time I'm finished. Everyone right now, I see LinkedIn, I see you, everybody. Write down if you agree or disagree with my definition. All right. Now, because hopefully this is going to change your life. All right. Hopefully it's going to change your life. All right. So now, remember, let's go back to this. All right, let's go back to this. Remember, there are 4 types of people in an industry. There are people who are consumers. What do? They only consume. That's their only objective, is to consume. Then you have producers. What's their objective? Their objective is only to what? To produce. Then you have influencers. What is their objective? An influencer's objective is only to do one thing. That is to influence consumption. That's all an influencer does. Is an influencer influences consumption. They influence, do you watch something? Do you read something? Do you buy something? Do you eat something? Do you, whatever it may be, right? A influencer, their primary objective is to influence. What is the thought leader? And how does a thought leader get the influencer as an audience? Because look at this. A consumer, who's in a consumer's audience? Really no one, or maybe other consumers. Who's in a producer's audience? Maybe some influencers a little bit, maybe some consumers a little bit, but that's it. Who's in the influencer's audience? It's all consumers, right? Who is in the thought leader's audience? Predominantly influencers, because the influencers go to the thought leader to get their data, their evidence, their theories, to then influence the industry. A thought leader is someone who has an audience of influencers. And I bet you, because I've been looking at this, any one of you who is watching who calls themselves a thought leader, but does not have an audience of influencers, well, then you're not. But those of you who are calling yourself a thought leader and have an audience of influencers, you know what I'm saying? You are. Now, let's go back to the second part of my definition here, which is true fans. What is a true fan? What is a true fan? Because this is what I said. It's not just someone who's a thought leader is not just someone who has influencers. A thought leader has true fans. Now, let me go to my other tribe members here. Let me go pull my other tribe members on. All right. Kemi, Brandon, what is a true fan?
Someone who just continuously believes in you, like faith and believing in you for almost anything you say or produce or co-sign. They just have, once you co-sign it, it's as good as gold.
Okay. I'm with it. Kemi, what's a true fan?
True fans are people that you've had an impact on, and because they believe in your message and they see the change in their lives, they continue to stay loyal and follow you because they know there's value in what you add.
Okay. Is there anything more? Is a true fan anything more than, because I agree with what you both are saying, but is it anything more?
They're willing to carry the message out too. Whatever you're selling, they're able to carry it on to get more fans.
Okay. So they become advocates.
Ambassadors.
They become ambassadors. All right. Now, let me show you guys this. There was a guy named Kevin Kelly. Kemi, Brandon, have you heard of Kevin Kelly before?
No, I haven't.
Kevin Kelly was the editor of Wired magazine. And he wrote back in 2008, he wrote an essay called 1,000 True Fans. This became a seminal essay for all content creators who wanted to figure out how to monetize their audience. I strongly encourage everybody right now to write that down in your notes. Kevin Kelly, 1,000 True Fans. Please go read that essay. It's still up today. A matter of fact, if you've read Tim Ferriss's Tools of Titans, you'll remember that Kevin Kelly wrote an updated version of 1,000 True Fans in that book. Okay. Now, here's how Kevin Kelly defines a true fan. A true fan is someone who will purchase anything and everything you produce, right? That's the person who's going to drive 200 miles to see you sing. They want to buy the super deluxe version of what you're doing, right? They bookmark everything about you, right? A true fan will show up anywhere. You say, you know what? I'm going to be doing, I know nobody wants to fly to whatever, Bali, but I'm going to do my event in Bali. That person is the first person to buy your ticket. This is what a true fan is. Okay. True fans. My suggestion to everybody watching this, whether or not you want to be a thought leader, an influencer, or whatever, your objective should be converting into true fans, right? This is where, for everyone who's worried about monetization and they're not feeling like they're making enough money with their content, or you're not making enough money from your personal brand, it's because you don't have true fans. You have lukewarm fans, right? Who look at what you say and say, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. But a true fan is like, I don't care. I'm gonna buy it, right? I don't care, whatever it is, right? So for example, there are a lot of, the reason why Kanye West is now a billionaire, all right? I know that rubs a lot of people the wrong way. A lot of people don't like that Kanye West is a billionaire. According to Forbes, he's worth $1 billion. According to Kanye, he's worth $3 billion. But the point of the matter is that what made Kanye West a billionaire is that he had true fans. So he had fans that said, you know what, I'm going to buy a Yeezy album. And then when you come out with these shoes or these trainers, I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy those Yeezys. Why? Because I'm a true fan. I'm going to devour anything that you put out. That's a true fan. That's the reason why he became a billionaire, is because he's true fans. The point of the matter is that we have to create true fans opposed to lukewarm fans. Okay. Now, all right. So let me pull this off the screen. So, all right. So Brandon, Kimmy, thank you. We're going to come back. Tribe is sharp today, guys. Tribe is sharp. So now let me pull this last. Here's the objective. Here's what I want everybody to do. If you want to become a thought leader, all right? If you don't want to be a thought leader, this is the time to jump off. Session is over for you, okay? But if you want to become a thought leader, let's keep going. All right, let's keep going. All right, so now here is your objective if you want to be a thought leader. This is it right here, plain and simple. This is my theory on thought leadership right here. It's this simple. Right here. If you want to become a thought leader, you have to convince 100 influencers to become true fans. Point blank, period. I dropped the mic. I'm gone to go drink some port because that's my favorite drink right now. It's terrible. I'm consuming a bottle of port every like 2 days. It's not good. But let me just say, if you want to become a thought leader, this is what you have to do. Point blank, period. All right. Now, this is great. I see all the questions, right? How do you create true fans? Well, you know what? By the way, look at this. Carrie said this. I want to say this. I don't want to get deep into politics, but this is the point. Carrie brings up a great point. Donald Trump has true fans. He can't do anything wrong, right? This is a big problem that a lot of politicians have. They have lukewarm followers. Donald Trump has true fans. Anything he puts out, they buy. Anything he says, they buy, right? They buy. This is the point, is that you want to convert true fans. So how do you do that? How do you do that? All right. Okay, wait, there's a question here. But then, Paul, that means you have to have some product service. No. Okay, this is my sis right here, Jala, right? I'm not saying you have to have a product or a service. You have to have, yes, something that they consume, but also what is included in that? Content. That's really what I'm talking about today, is content. They could consume a product, they could consume a service, right? But what people really want, what the premium is on today, is content. And you have that. You have that. All right. My sis Candy. By the way, one of the best names, Candy Yams. You can't go wrong with a name like that. Candy Yams. That's what I'm saying. All right. So let's move back. Let's move back right here. All right. So who's ready to keep going? Once again, it's 5:45. I haven't even gotten into step one. We're just warming up right now. We're just warming up. All right. Who's still with me right now on the warm up? Let me look right now. Oh, yeah. I see folks are. All right. So let's get this moving. All right. I got notes too. All right. So my sis on Periscope is ready to get going. All right. So let's go to number one. So now remember, we've already established that you have to create 100 true fans who are influencers. And once you do that, you are a thought leader. By the way, let me just stop real quick because I want to represent everybody watching. I'm going to bring on the tribe real quick. Actually, tribe, just raise your hand. Does anyone in the tribe disagree with that theory? Let me actually bring on everybody real quick. Does anybody disagree with my theory of a thought leader, how to become a thought leader?
I don't disagree. I do have a question though.
Okay.
What type of influencer? Realizing you have the micro, macro, and the other. What is it? The quality of influencers that matters?
All right. This is a great question, Hannah. And here's my answer. It doesn't matter what level of influencer.
Okay.
But the level of influencer directly dictates the level of thought leadership you have.
Okay, that makes sense.
So and just a point is that one of my good friends, she actually reached out to me this weekend, and she said, Paul, I want to become a celebrity thought leader. I want to be basically at the top of the food chain. So my answer is, well, then you're not going after micro, you're not going after macro, you're going after mega influencers. Okay. Okay. Any other questions from the tribe or concerns around just the theory of 100 influencers who are true fans?
Turning
I would
someone,
ask,
Paul,
why
into
wouldn't
it.
it be more?
Yeah, okay. He said, why wouldn't it be more?
Okay, so here's the thing. And the reason why, great question. The reason why it doesn't have to be more is because you have influencers who already have a wide base of followers. So when you think about Kevin Kelly's theory, Kevin Kelly was talking about the consumers who are true fans. He said you needed 1,000 of those. Keep in mind, every influencer is going to have perhaps thousands, if not millions, of their own consumers. So that's the reason why you don't need more. But the more that you get, the stronger you are.
Within the 100, Paul, too, it kind of goes to another point you brought up when it comes to networking, which I love and I follow you on, about doing 5 favors before you ask for one. Do you strategically, when you're making your list here and of your 100 influencers, and you talk about the scale of them, I mean, are these people, what is your method to converting? Because, you know, you have people that you do a lot for, and they might be able to influence 5, but then you have some people that influence thousands. So should you just go for it, 1,000 people influence, or is that kind of like the Hannah's question with the quality of influence?
I'll tell you what, that's the perfect segue to the next to point 1. So let's move to point 1. But real quick, I see Nakata he dropped, but I think he'll pick us back up. By the way, this is what I love about Jamaicans. By the way, did you see? Now look, the whole tribe.
I did.
The whole tribe, right? All the tribe in the United States is sitting like
bedroom, quarantine.
Right? The whole tribe is like, I think Theo, Hannah, Kemi, Brandon, you guys are sitting leaning in. My man Nakata pulled up like this.
With the beautiful weather in Jamaica.
This is what I'm saying. All right, I love it. All right. Here he goes. He's gonna pull up in a pool. I see him getting this. Right. All right. So, all right, guys, we're gonna come back to the tribe. I'm loving the tribe. Loving the tribe. All right. One time, by the way, if you're loving the tribe, let me see some love in the comments real quick. Okay. Let's get, Khalib say, great vibe, great vibe. All right, so now let's get to number 1. Okay, here's the first. The first thing that you have to do is you should identify the influencers within your industry. This is something that I find to be really fascinating because a lot of people don't know. They don't know who the influencers are in the industry. And my response is, well, you better know. You better know, right? When I was in high school, I was at a lot. Actually, I don't even know if my wife knows this. When I was in high school, I was on the rifle team, right? I used to do junior NJROTC, Naval Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps. And I was on the rifle team. And on the rifle team, my coach used to say, you can't hit the target if you don't know where your target is. Real simple. If you don't know where the target is, you can't hit it. The point is that you have to know who the target is. what you really need to know is you should know who everyone in your industry is. If you are really serious about becoming a thought leader, you have to first humble yourself and become a student of your industry. So you should know who all of the influencers are, Now, I want you to create a list of influencers. And I want you to remember this. Remember, even when you identify a mega or a macro, sometimes even a micro, it's not always an institution, or I'm sorry, even if it is an institution, there's always a human being behind the institution. Let me give you an example. In the matchmaking, let's keep using matchmaking as an example. In the matchmaking industry, right? Actually, let's do this. All right, I'm gonna try this in real time. Let's see if this works. All right, I'm gonna bring back the crew. Let me bring back the crew. All right, let me bring back the crew. My man Theo, Nakata. All right, let's see. Nakata's he's gonna be in a bathing suit. All right, there he goes. All right, there goes my man. All right, so now the first thing you want to do is you want to identify the influencers. I want us to walk through the identification of an influencer right now. Let's just do it like live, it's real time. So let's say matchmaking. In the matchmaking space, an example of a mega influencer would actually be Essence Magazine. Now, why would Essence Magazine be an example of an influencer? Because they put out a lot of dating content, a lot of relationship content, right? So would you agree that's definitely okay, that's definitely all right. So everyone's agreeing. Now the question becomes, do we write out on our list, do we write down Essence Magazine? No.
Sharia.
All right. Instead, what we do is we identify who is the editor, right? Who's the person behind, right? Who's giving that influence behind? So let me even pop up my screen. Let me see if I could do this. Tell me if this works, guys. If this doesn't work. All right. So can you guys see my my Google?
Yeah.
Okay, you can see that. All right, cool. All right, so now here's what we could do. We could put in Essence relationship editor, right? And we look that up.
And there's Sharia.
Yeah, you're right. You read it, right? But now here's the thing. There's also because I mean, and I know because I know Sharia, right? I know Sharia's left, but now look at this. This is the first thing that comes up. Charlie Penn. So we would go to Charlie Penn and we would look at her profile and say, oh, wow, look, Charlie Penn right here, relationships and wellness director where? At Essence. So she is our target. She is our target. So what would we do? We would then write her down as one person, okay? And that becomes one of our people. And the goal is you identify 100 influencers, okay? 100 influencers, you write them down. Now, keep in mind, you probably need to identify more than 100, but because you're not going to convert all 100. But that's my point, is 100, right? Right? See, look at this. Right here, my man says, Essence has a monthly circulation around 1.5 a month. Not bad. So she is a mega influencer, right? She's a mega influencer. Now, what's step 2? Step 2 is now that you have your list of 100 people, now you have to do real homework. You got to do real homework now. And that is now we need to identify what are the specific needs of all the influencers. What are their needs? All right, let me see if Nakata, all right, Nakata's back. All right, yeah. Here he goes. What are their needs? So now let's do this together. Let's keep going. I like this. Let me split my screen real quick. All right, Tribe, I'm going to come to you on this. All right. So we have identified that Charlie Penn is an influencer, right? We know she's an influencer, right? Now, we need to do our homework. We need to identify what are Charlie's needs. I want to ask the Tribe this question. What do you believe Charlie's needs are? Now, we could scroll through Twitter, right? We could do that. But I like, honestly, let's do Charlie. Oh, wow. There goes right there. Charlie Penn, Instagram. I think Instagram, here we go. I think Instagram is always a better play to identify what somebody's needs are, because Instagram is so aspirational to people, right? So now, here's a question that I have for everybody on the panel, all right? Actually, everybody watching this, you tell me this. What do you believe Charlie's needs are? Okay?
Content.
I want everybody in the tribe to tell me a need, okay?
Share her content. Yeah, share her content.
Well, I'm sorry, Brandon. I'm gonna scroll through real quick so you can see her. Yeah, so we're like doing our research. We're like, okay, Charlie Penn, she's a relationships wellness at Essence. She hosts a podcast. She's a marriage, lifestyle, and travel enthusiast, right? We could go down here. I mean, we can see her link tree right here. What's popping on her link tree? Her New York Times feature. She's got podcast episodes, YouTube, recent work. She has a Forbes profile, Alicia Keys cover story. I mean, man, she's got it going on, right? So we've got all those things. And then we can scroll through. Oh, look at this. Here she is with Kelly Rowland. Right here she is at home, right? So these are all different, these are all, just little bits about her. What do you believe her needs are? Just real quick, what do you think some of her needs are?
I think content, great content.
Log into her website, listen to it, more listeners, and sharing her podcast. And her articles.
Okay, so Kemi said she's looking for more content, so maybe content ideas, right? Brandon says she's looking for people to share, right? She has all of her top stories on there, so she wants people to share. Keep in mind, she's an influencer. Her role is to continue to influence consumption. So definitely she wants the shares. What else do you think she needs?
That's tough.
Oh man,
I disagree. I disagree with the content. That's my thing that I can think of the biggest content. She needs the stories, the relationship ideas, the wellness ideas. So I feel like content is the number one thing.
Okay, so Thea, you're saying she needs content ideas.
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, let me push you, Hannah, Nakata. What are keep going deep. And
I think she needs different types. I mean, I like the idea of content. That was my initial thought early on in sharing it, but I think she needs access to different platforms as well.
That's what I was gonna say.
So
agree.
Like she's already on Instagram and Twitter and things like that, but there are other things I'm sure the six of us are probably on that we're not on collectively, that she's probably not on as well.
Okay, so you're gonna achieve access to other platforms?
Yes.
Okay.
By way of sharing.
By way of sharing. Gotcha.
I guess to piggyback off her, I think she needs more connectors, people who can connect her to the individuals like the Kelly Rowlands, the Alicia Keys.
Right.
Or what I'm going off of what Hannah was saying is about more platforms for exposure, meaning more features on various news outlets, talk shows,
more consumers,
things like that, to get to more consumers, to spread her personal brand out there.
Absolutely, right. I'm with it. Everybody in the audience, I see that people are agreeing with you. They're co-signing to what you're saying. I completely agree. Let me add another one that I haven't yet seen. I'm sure it's somewhere in the comments, but I just wrote it down.
Money's always great. Amen. Money's
always great. Influencer. So you tell me, what is she going to say if all of a sudden you could book her to come speak?
You're an influencer.
Yeah, but what's she going to say to that, right? Or you could bring in a partner to sponsor the podcast. Or your company could sponsor the podcast, right? I'm going to tell you what, dollars talk. They scream. Dollars are actually the most beautiful. Have you ever listened to a dollar sing? A dollar is, oh my God. A dollar is, oh man, it's pretty.
US dollar, right?
Actually, a pound.
I know. Can I ask a question, Paul?
Absolutely.
So it was a couple of weeks ago. What's her name? Black China. The rave was that she was selling, what was it, $250 or something like that. If you paid her $250, she would like your profile. So I've never considered her a thought leader. I mean, because that's out of my genre. But as a influencer, to use it with today's topic, how would you fit that into this paradigm? Just thinking about monetizing your influence.
Well, my quick on that is what she is doing is what all influencers do. They want to increase their influence and they want to monetize that content. So, I mean, that's her thing. That's what she's doing, right? But we're talking about thought leadership.
Yeah,
right? We're talking about the next level up. And with Charlie, the dollars I'm talking about bringing is I'm saying that that's just another thing that she needs. So step 2 is you want to identify all of the needs. She needs podcast guests, right? High profile, connection to high profile, shared content, right? You could bring in ad revenue. All of those things are going to what? They are going to get her attention. They're going to get her attention. All right. So now let's keep moving. Let's keep moving here. So thank you. The tribe is on. Nikata, we got to get that sound fixed. All right. So now here's the next part. After you've identified your influencers, you've identified their needs. Okay. You know your influencers' needs. Then you could do this. Now, you should be doing this anyway, but this is very important right here. Find your voice. Now, I really thought about strategically, what do I mean by this? This gets a little political, but my commitment is always to keep it 1,000 with you. Okay. I think that your voice needs to match the consumers of the influencer. Now, follow me on this. Your voice needs to match the consumers of the influencers that you're trying to target. And what do I mean by voice? When I think about voice, I always think about 3 things. I think about your delivery, I think about your theme, and I think about your let me see. I wrote it down. Let me see. I wrote it down as platform, but actually, let's just go with that. Theme, delivery, theme, and platform. Let's just stick with that. Now, let me bring back the tribe. Tribe. I love how. By the way, the tribe is getting a lot of action today. The tribe is getting a lot of action today. I just like talking to somebody. I don't like talking to myself, right? So when I say find your voice, okay, what I'm saying here is that a lot of us will maybe go online. So for example, I've some friends who probably watch right now, and they'll go onto Facebook and they will post a video every 3 days on a very specific topic. They'll deliver it in a certain way, right? Maybe the authoritative way, right? Because I'm going to be authoritative. And they do that over and over again. And nobody's really checking for it. It gets no real engagement, right? And the reason for that is because whenever you are creating content, you always want to be thinking about your delivery. Is your delivery humorous? Is your delivery insightful? Is it introspective? Like, what is your delivery? The same thing if you're going on TV. This is the same thing I advise to people who go on television. What is your delivery? Number 2 is, what is your theme? You can talk about everything, but trust me, people don't want you to talk about everything, right? They want you to talk about something specific. So what is your theme? And then also, what is your platform, right? Is it video on Facebook? Is it short, captions on Twitter? What is that, right? Your delivery, your theme, and your platform. Now, I think it needs to match. So let me teach you a real slick way to make sure that it matches. All right. Let's go back to Charlie real quick. Where is it? All right. So this is Charlie's Instagram. All right. Let's go to, all right. This one has 21 comments. So this one probably has a lot of comments. All right. So you guys can see this, right?
Yes.
So let's say we're scrolling through, right? What you want to do is, if you want your voice to match Charlie, who's an influencer, her consumers, the people who are commenting on her posts are definitely her consumers, right? They represent the people who consume her content and engage in her content. So you could go here and you could like click on any one of them. So let's just click on, that'd be funny if she was watching. Let's go on Christian and then let's just read about her. She's an award-winning journalist, right? So she's in the media space. She has an on-air academy, right? It looks like she hosts maybe her own podcast. So she's in the media space, right? Let's go back. Let's just see somebody else. Let's see this. Miss Tiff, let's see her. Oh, wow. She's with me. Tiffany Ash. All right, look, she's a producer of podcast stories. She's an executive producer at Essence, right? So do you see similarities here?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right? And this makes sense, right? This makes sense that her consumer is going to be a writer, someone in media, right? What other similarities did you see among her consumers?
They're all women.
Women. What else?
And travel.
Right. They're in travel. What else?
Journalists.
Journalists. What else?
Seniors in their area, in their industries.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. They're Black. Right? What else, right? There's probably a similar age. The point is that every influencer is going to have a constituency of consumers who are
kind of like them.
Yeah, kind of like them, right? So the question becomes, can you begin to test out your voice, your delivery, right? Your themes, your platform against people who are like her consumers? Can you do that? Absolutely. Absolutely. How do you do that? You could get involved with Facebook groups who are what? Made up of journalists, right? Made up of, maybe Black women in media, right? You could look for LinkedIn groups. You could look for Twitter conversations. The point is you want to begin to experiment and you want to find your voice, the voice that most resonates with that consumer, because you can have all the knowledge and all the experience in the world. But if your message doesn't resonate, it's meaningless. And if it doesn't resonate with their consumers, it'll never resonate with them. All right. So, this is crazy. This shows you how much I need an audience, because I brought on the tribe and I didn't really ask them any questions. I was just like, hey, tribe. And now say bye to the tribe. All right. They're coming back. They're coming back. They're coming back. All right. So now let's move on to the next point. Here's the next point, guys. After you find your voice, I want you to do this. I want you to create your thought leader identity, right? Your thought leader brand identity. Now, this is very important, right? This is very important because a thought leader, your brand is what. So my favorite definition of brand, by the way, is Jeffrey Bezos said this many years ago. He said, your brand is what people say you are when you are not in the room. That's what your brand is. What people say you are, what they believe that you value, right? When you are not in the room. So whether or not you want to become a thought leader or an influencer or whatever, you're just a professional, the most important thing you can do is to make sure that your brand is consistent with the things that you value, right? You want to send out a consistent message. And here's a test, right? Here's a test. And maybe this is going to be a miserable failure, but let's do a quick test. I want everybody in the tribe right now, if you have a pen and paper, try to get a pen and paper. I want you to write down 3 things that you believe I value. All right. This will be a funny test. Write down 3 things that you believe I value. If you don't have a pen, maybe go to your phone and just type it in. So 3 things that you believe I value. So now this is a great test. All right. Now, if I've been a good steward of my brand, some of these 3 things should line up, right? They should be connected. Some of the 3 things should be the same, right? If I'm not a good steward of my brand, then they're going to be all over the place. All right. 3 things that you believe I value. All right. 3 things that you believe I value. All right. So now I'm gonna bring on the tribe. This is my moment of truth. This is gonna be crazy. All right. So tribe, Somebody, let's start from the top. So Theo, break it down. What 3 things that you think I value?
Oh, Theo, we got the Teddy Riley going. He put it
Oh, you put it on the side. Our family,
fashion,
family,
and
fashion,
put it back up.
and income. Family, fashion, and income. The FFI. FFI. All right. He's got family, fashion, and income. Okay. Hannah, what do we think?
I have family as well. Connections and leadership.
Okay. So we got 2 on family, we got connections, and we got leadership. Okay. Nikata, are you with us? Oh, can you guys hear him? Oh man, we can't hear you. Oh no. If you write it down, we can see it. Write it down so we can see it. All right. So Brandon, what do you have?
Which kind of I put number 1, Black love, 2, entrepreneurship, 3, constant learning / teaching.
Okay.
Teaching. I want to put reading in there, but we got books for Dave.
All right, that works. That works. And then Kemi, what do we have?
I have family, relationships, and gaining knowledge.
Okay.
Acquiring knowledge.
Family, relationships,
and acquiring knowledge.
And getting knowledge. Okay, there we go. Acquiring knowledge. All right, we're gonna go with Nikata. Nikata, he's writing it down real quick. All right, he's writing it. All right, so let's see. He's coming. Here he comes. He's gonna put it up. He's gonna flash it out. Here it goes. Here it goes.
Oh,
I can't read what it says. Oh man, I can't even say. He wrote Paul loves ganja. What do you put on there?
Marriage, business, and Jamaica.
Oh yeah. So there you go. Marriage, business, and Jamaica. All right. So now it's clear, right, that you guys can see the similarities, right? Relationships, connections, lots of family. There's the education, acquiring knowledge. There's consistency there. There's consistency. My point is that we all have to find our brand identity and make sure that everything. So, Tribe, we're coming back, by the way. We're coming back. We have to make sure that all of our visuals, all of our messaging, everything conveys these things that we value. This is very important because the moment that the influencers begin to see that content, they're going to check to see if you have a compelling brand identity. This is so important. We could do a whole topic on brand identity, but this is real quick brand identity. All right, let me go to the next one. The next one is this. All right, I promise we're not gonna stay too long on this. All right, I got to bring it back. This tribe has gotten the most play out of any tribe in the history of all tribes.
All right.
All right. Nakata, here he comes. Okay, I think he's coming. Okay, so now here's my question. All right. This is number 5. This is very important. We're getting into content right now. Okay, we're getting into content. Now, here's my question to the tribe. You tell me, on a scale from 0 to 10, okay, with 10 being considered completely unmissable content, 5 being lukewarm content, and 0 being content that sucks, okay? If you were going about creating a thought leader brand and you want to start creating content that's going to attract that influencer and it's going to convert that influencer to becoming a true fan, what level of content do you believe at minimum, only at minimum, do you need to be producing? Level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 content. 10 is unmissable, 5 is lukewarm. 1, actually, let's start at 1. 1 is just like, you just whatever. You just took a picture of yourself, and you just posted it. You didn't care. What is the minimum level of content that you believe you need to be producing in order to convert those influencers?
Convert them from influencers to fans?
Exactly, to true fans. All right. Nakata says, what do you say, 7, Nakata? At 7, yeah, at minimum. All right, Brandon's got 5.
About a 6.5, 7.
All right, Hannah says 6.5, 7. My man Theo is 8.
8.
No, 8. Okay.
Yep.
8. I have 8 as well.
Okay, Kimmy says 8. Okay, I'm curious, audience, what do you think it needs to be? Okay, I'm going to LinkedIn. You know what's crazy is we have so many comments that have come in on Facebook. I can't even get to my Facebook comments anymore. StreamYard, we got to work on that. All right, I'm gonna go to my folks on LinkedIn. I see LinkedIn saying, I see Danielle Kristen Toussaint says 7 to 8 minimum. Adrian says 8. Ifani Akunwu, I think, says 6. Someone says, what is TUC? I'm gonna tell you what TUC is in a second. And then Thomas Calhoun, my man Thomas Calhoun says 10. My man Ron Foster says 10. Let me tell you what the answer is, folks. The answer is 10.
Wow.
You only should be creating. T stands for targeted, U stands for unmissable, C stands for content. You should only be creating targeted, unmissable content. And let me tell you why. The moment that you create level 9 content or level 8 or level 5 or level 3 content, you know what happens? The algorithm don't even put your content in the feed of the influencer. Here's the reason why. If I am Charlie Penn, right? And let's say that I see, I'm seeing some of your content. I love it. She starts following you. And then you post something that she has no interest in. So in other words, it's not unmissable for her. What will happen is she won't engage with it. She won't even look at it. And she'll just pass it on by. What is going to happen the next time that you post some content? She won't see it. The algorithms will already have calculated for you. Or in her mind, she's thinking, you know what? When Brandon posts, it's not always for me, right? He's not always for me, right? This is why I believe we all need to have a target. Going back, you can't shoot it unless you have a target. You need to have a target. And you are only creating content that is unmissable for your audience. I'll give you a personal example. When I started doing these sessions, I would come on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And you know what I realized? I can't keep up the quality Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I researched. I got all these pages of notes. I spent probably 6-7 hours just going over my notes to come out here and teach y'all. I can't do that 3 times a week. I can't do it. And not doing it 3 times a week means I'm going to lose folks. So therefore, I say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm only going to show up when I can show out. You know what I mean? I'm only showing up when I could show out. And this is exactly what I encourage you to do. Only create unmissable content. Let me give you some real quick tips on how to create unmissable content. By the way, Facebook, I still love you, but there's been so many comments that have come in. I can't even see the comments now on it. So here's some suggestions on how you can create unmissable content right now for your influencers. Number 1 right now is curate content. I think this is the biggest opportunity for everyone right now. Why? Because social media posts have literally gone up 50%. Think about that. Everybody's posting now. Everybody's posting. It's a lot of noise. It's like we all walked into a room. It's like 200 of us walked into a room and we all started yelling, come see me, come see me, right? You can't hear anybody now. Everybody's yelling. Instead, I suggest you start curating content. Take the best of the yells in the room, right? So if I were going into the matchmaking space, I would start curating. I would do a roundup of the best of the matchmaking industry, or the top posts, the top tweets and posts or Instagram posts from leading matchmaking experts every day, right? When you start to curate content, is that something that influencers want? Absolutely. Would Charlie Penn want a curation? Absolutely, right? She wants to stay on the trend. So curate. This is very important. That's number 1. Secondly is you have to have a unique POV, a unique point of view. Otherwise, people don't want to check for you. You need to be bringing something new to the conversation. And this is where you have to rely on your expertise and on your knowledge. And this is the reason why so many of us can't be thought leaders yet, because we don't have the expertise. We don't have the knowledge. We're just faking it. But if you do have the knowledge, if you do have the skills, if you do have the expertise, then you begin to rely on it. And here's my tip. Here's my hack. The bolder you are, it will mean the more unique your point of view will be, and the more influencers will want to listen to you. Now, let me give you an example. You know who I think, actually, Theo, you talked about Steve Jobs being a thought leader, and I completely agree. I think he's a phenomenal thought leader. Right now, I think one of a thought leader that I love to watch is Elon Musk. Okay, Elon Musk. We know Elon Musk came from PayPal, right? Started Tesla, right? He's got a space company, runs battery company. He does a lot. But the reason why I love Elon Musk so much in terms of the study of thought leadership is because he puts out bold statements with timelines. And you will find over and over in history that the top thought leaders in every industry will take their knowledge of the industry and they will predict trends and they will give you deadlines on the trends. And what this does is this makes people want to follow and understand. Why did you make that prediction? I don't understand. You may completely disagree with it. It doesn't matter. Make bold predictions about trends. And I'll give you an example with Elon Musk. In 2017, I believe, Elon Musk said, you know what, by 2024, I'm going to send somebody to Mars, right? Bold statement. He said, by 2024, I'm going to send somebody to Mars. Keep in mind that at that time, the top agencies were predicting it wasn't going to be until 2100 that we would be in Mars. He said 2024. He's cutting it by 76 years. He said, I'm going to send people to Mars. Then what does he do next? Then 2-3 years down the road, he says, no, forget 2024. I'm going to send a commercial flight to Mars by 2021. That's bold. 2021, he said, I'm going to send a commercial flight to Mars. Now, when he says this, does that create interest in what he's saying? Absolutely. People want to follow that. People want to disagree with that. But if you are an influencer in that industry, in the space industry, you have to follow that. By default, you have to follow that. And then because Elon Musk is the king of bold statements, what does he then turn around and say? You know what his latest is? His latest is he is going to send 1 million people to Mars by 2050, and he promises to build the first city on Mars.
Wow.
Now, here's what's wild about that. Whether or not you agree or disagree, tell me by show of hands, tribe. Now, do you have at least an interest to see if that's going to pan out? Right? There's a little bit of curiosity, like maybe, right? So think, you're not even an influencer in the space industry, I'm assuming. So think about if you're an influencer in the space industry, then you're even more excited. So my point is this: if you want to create unmissable content, make bold predictions of trends in your industry. All right. And then the last is you want to be consistent, right? Consistent. So curation, bold statements, and then consistency. So whatever is the minimum frequency that you can create unmissable content, that's the frequency that you do it at. For me, I said I could come out here twice a week and I could show out, so I'm going to do it twice a week. I wish I could do it 5 times a week, but I can't. But you want to look at what you can do. Maybe that's once a week. Maybe that's once every 2 weeks, whatever it may be. And remember, that is also based on your voice. You've identified what is your delivery. What is your themes that you're talking about? What is the platforms that are best for you? Is it live? Is it audio, right? That's what you're doing, all right? So tribe, any questions before we get into 6?
Oof, I'm taking notes, Paul.
All right, this is good. I know this is a lot. All right, I'm gonna pull you guys off. I'm gonna close out with these real quick, and then we're gonna get to questions from the tribe. The tribe, you've been outstanding. By the way, Facebook, I'm sorry, YouTube and Periscope. So I think we broke StreamYard today. We literally broke StreamYard because I can't see any more comments coming in there. But LinkedIn, I still got you. All right, let's go to the next one. Number 6. I like this. I like number 6 a lot. I have used number 6 a lot myself, right? So think about this. You are now creating content. You've already identified your influencers. You have already, you know what their needs are. You know what your voice is. You have already started to create unmissable content for them. You have a strong brand identity. You're working that. But remember, thought leadership takes years. It took me 7 years to get to thought leadership in a small industry of matchmaking. So it takes time, right? It takes time to get to a thought leadership position. So what you want to keep in mind is, as you're going, remember, it doesn't have to be, I'm going after thousands of people. It's one-on-one. It's one-on-one. So you go to your list and you think about, what can I do to specifically create greater value for this person? So let's go back to the Charlie example. All right. I'm going back to my crew. I'm going back. I got to go back to my crew. You know what it is, guys? I realize is I really do love you, Tribe. But also,
man, I love you too, brother.
I can't see any more comments either. So I gotta go, y'all.
You ready to put my phone up?
All right. So here's my question. Let's say that you've done all the steps, okay? And Charlie Penn is still, that's who we're going after. What do you believe you could reach out to her individually and add value to her individually? What's something that you could do?
Try to help with sponsorship. Just try to connect corporate sponsorship with my company, if that was, where I work, if that matches.
Okay, let's just spend a second on that. Think about that. So Brandon's saying he works at a company. He goes in, he talks to sponsorships. They say, oh yeah, we have, $15,000 that we can allocate for something. And then you send her a direct, hey, I can match you with 15, a sponsorship. I'd love to match you. Now, here's my only question. How does she receive that? Even if the sponsorship never happens, how does she receive that?
You made the effort to give something. You didn't ask for that one favor. You were giving, which is awesome to do.
There you go. And Brad, no, this is your thing. This is building relationship. We're just talking about relationship building right here.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
Relationship building. So that's one thing. So let me press the tribe, because we've got a sharp tribe. So let me press you. What's something else you could do to reach out to her to do?
Offer a speaking engagement.
Bam. Theo, I love it. Whether or not the speaking engagement comes with an honorarium, just the fact that you get asked to speak, that raises somebody's antenna about you, right? That adds value. So I love that. Theo, perfect. What else do we have?
Well, just in terms of access, what I alluded to earlier, maybe another podcast or a partner with perhaps another venue, another magazine, or another sponsor of some sort.
Okay, so let's stick with the podcast point. You can invite her onto your podcast, or maybe you know of someone who has a podcast that serves perfectly her consumer base. And you do the legwork. You reach out to that person and say, I think Charlie Penn would be a great guest on your podcast. Do you mind if I reach out to her on your behalf? You're like, yeah, go ahead, make it happen, Hannah. Go ahead. And then you reach out, Hannah, you say, you know what, I'm reaching out. This is the top 10 podcast in the UK. They would love to have you on. Can I set that up for you? Boom. Wasn't even your podcast, Hannah.
Right.
Kemi, Nakata, what do we think? What are some other ways?
For me, it's looking for ways where you can bring more value to what she already has and also expand her horizon. Because when you do that, you reach out and it's like, hey, this. It opens more. Once you open more doors for her, you're definitely going to be somebody remembered for a long time.
Yes. But let me push you a little bit on that. Give me an example of another door. So we just talked about 3 doors. What's a 4th door that you could open for her?
More ways to make money.
All right. So give me that.
I just went blank for a second.
Yeah. Okay. So Here's the reason why I'm pushing you a little bit on this, though. And I think this is a good point, is we have to be careful, though, when we make our reach out, that our reach out needs to be specifically connected to what we know she needs, not what we're guessing she needs, right? Remember, when you add value to someone, you are helping that person get closer to their goals. So you have to be crystal clear on what her goals are, and you have to deliver on that. Because if you deliver off, for example, I have people hit me all the time. They say, hey, Paul, you should be doing, if you started a coaching business, you could be making so much more money. Can I help you start a coaching business? I have no desire to start a coaching business right now. And the fact that you just arbitrarily said that makes me give you lower value because I'm not even interested in that right now, right? If someone, for example, and people have done this, actually, Kemi, let me show you, let me spin this around on you, Kemi. I'm going to spin this around on Kemi.
Let me give you the question. It's how can I serve you? That's it. How can I serve you?
Right. But here's the thing. I don't think you should ask people, how can I serve you? This is my opinion. Because when you ask someone, how can I serve you? What ends up happening is they then have to think, and then they feel obligated. Is there a way for me to serve? I don't know. Right. I think the best thing to do is to specifically give where you can help if you know that help is getting them closer to their goal. And here's where I'm going to spin it around on Kemi. Kemi dropped myself and my wife an email, a couple days ago, and said, Paul, Jill, I know you're working your butts off on Knowledge Share. I know that is everything to you. How can I help you on Knowledge Share? That's a specific act, right? That's specific. That gets resonance, right? Not just, Paul, you should start a coaching business. What? No, I can help you on Knowledge Share right now. So my point is you want specific asks, specific ways that you can move it forward. All right.
Great job, Kimmy.
Yeah. Kemi did it. So so she did that. All right. So now let's go to number 7. And this is the last step right here. Real simple is you want to continue to enhance. So this is a never ending equation. It never stops. Influencers keep changing, right? I've been in the matchmaking space forever now. The influencers come in and out, right? So you want to keep updating the list. The needs of the influencer keeps changing, right? Charlie, maybe she has a podcast today. Maybe she launches a fashion line tomorrow. Who knows? Her needs will change. Your voice, because the consumers change and the industry changes, your voice needs to change, right? Your voice needs to change. I was against doing lives. Now I almost exclusively do lives. You know what I mean? So your voice needs to change, how you deliver the content, the themes that you talk about. Also, your brand identity, that should evolve over time. So therefore, your audience always knows, hey, you know what? This is what Theo values right here. I know what he's about. Before he even has to say a word, this is what he's about. And then your TUC, which what's TUC, folks?
Targeted unmissable content.
Oh man, the tribe is on it. You passed the test. All right. So targeted unmissable content. If it's not unmissable, we're not posting. We're not. You don't have to post every day, right? Everybody does not need to see you doing your exercises every morning, right? That is not a necessity, right? Everyone doesn't need to see that. Let me give you just a quick example. Is every night my wife she is in the kitchen cooking up something incredible. Every night, man, she's laying it down like this, like I'm gaining weight. It's great. Now, last night or 2 nights ago, and I rarely post what she cooks, but 2 nights ago, what did she cook? This is to Nikado's point of my value in Jamaica. She made patties. So what did I do? I hooked up the patty thing and I put it out there. Why? Because I know the person who I'm going for, Nikado, who's sitting in Kingston, Jamaica, would recognize when he sees the patty. He recognized that. He appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? You see? And so therefore, I posted it. But when she makes chicken wings, I'm not posting that, right? So we'll make sure it's targeted. And then also your value. Think about your value and how as you move and how you evolve, you could add more value to them individually. All right. This is it. The recap once again. Number one is identify the influencers within your industry. This is number one step. Number two, identify the specific needs of the influencers. Number three, you have to find your voice. Number four, you have to create your thought leader brand identity. Number five, create that TUC, targeted, right? Unmissable content. 6, reach out to these individuals because we know you have value to add. And then 7, continue to enhance that. And my commitment to you is that by continuing to do that, you will convert influencers into true fans. And once you have enough influencers who've become true fans, you will undeniably be a thought leader. And all of those benefits that Theo, Hannah, Brandon, Nikado, Kemi, that you mentioned at the top, right? Better connections, more money, more influence, changing, trends of an industry, that will be yours. Why? Because the influencers will be the ones consuming from you. So every time you put out content into the ether, the influencers get that content and they spread it to the world, right? They will be your mouthpieces. So that is my opinion on how to become a thought leader. Let me end with questions.
All right.
One question. If one question from the tribe. Any questions that you have?
Can I go first, Paul? All right. What do you for number one, identify influencers within your industry? I'm thinking of my friend Skyra, who's on here, who she has a lane of being a relocation for Black women with Flip the Zip. Yeah. What do you do if you're probably maybe there might be influencers in there, but if you're on the lane and you can't find nobody else, like what is the point of finding the influencers, within the industry if you feel like you might be the industry? And then also too, she has a community like thousands. How can she pull out individuals within, if you have a community already set, to then turn the core people that maybe are constantly from influencers to fans?
Yeah. All right. This is a brilliant question because a lot of us have gotten into areas where we do own, right? We have a monopoly in the space. There's 2 thoughts here. The first is I would really want her to define exactly, well, what is her industry? And then if she has a niche monopoly in her, so she's the only person doing it, then you want to figure out, well, what is the next sector up? Because she's going to be in a sector. So for example, maybe her sector, and I'm just throwing this out, is maybe it's the event space. It's just generally the event space. So then she goes after influencers who are considered the kings and queens of the event space. And here's the beauty too. The beauty is that when you own a niche and you are considered a thought leader within your niche, it is easier for you to then level up and become a thought leader in the next level up, right? So for example, I'm considered a thought leader in the matchmaking industry, but if you go talk to most editors in the relationship space about relationships, which relationships is a bigger industry than matchmaking, right? Much bigger. Date coaches, therapists, etc. Then what happens is sometimes I'm considered a thought leader in that space, right? So this is how you level up. So Brandon, I would say what she needs to do is she should identify what's the next industry up, right? And go after those. And then in terms of your second question of kind of extracting the people in her audience, this is where I think it's hand-to-hand combat. Maybe she makes a general call, like who within my community have media outlets, blogs and, podcast, you want to see who are, because typically the influencers now, almost all influencers are their own media company. So you want to find out who those people are and then disproportionately focus on those folks.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, Paul.
You got it. All right. Kemi, Hannah, Theo, Nikata, any questions?
What would you do if while building your brand, influencers are attaching to your brand, but you really don't want those influencers to be attached to your brand?
Oh man, Theo, this is a great one, right? You're like, you stink. Get off me.
Right.
Yeah. And so this is a great question. I faced this in the matchmaking space where there were a lot of people who I didn't consider to be credible, who were trying to then jump on what I was doing and gain credibility. I think that what you have to do is you have to distance yourself from them, but at the same time, and this is just my opinion, is you have to also remember they're part of your industry, right? And you are a thought leader and you're evolving as a thought leader. So your objective should be to level up the industry. So what I did is I said, you know what I'll do is we can't do an event together, right? We're not going to do an event together, but if you need to get on the phone for half an hour and let's just talk about how I could help your business to become better, let's do that, right? If you need me to refer clients to you, let's do that, because I'd rather see the entire industry become more credible. I'd rather see the entire industry become better. That is thought leadership. I'm gonna put it on my back and let's go. But I'm not going to do lives with you, right? We're not going to, so you have to, I think, strategically manage that relationship, and you can, but the key is that you just don't want the associations. You just want the brand, because bad brand association will destroy everything that you've created, everything.
And that's about the same question I have as well, because it's easy to connect, but when you see they don't share your core values, how do you now, pivot away from that? Because your core values are part of who your brand is. And if they don't carry that, then how do you now communicate that back to them?
Well, it depends on, I guess, how they've attached. Like, I don't know if this is a situation where you've actually done. I mean, give me an example just so I can understand. Are you doing events with them or?
So I had a thought leader that I was ghostwriting for, and was taking away the copyright of my material. I kind of reached out and I said, "This is my labor, but you're branding it now to be yours without giving the credibility back to me." I think that if we're collaborating together, that should reflect in what you're doing, because again, it's based on values that I see that we both share to make people become better. But if then you're taking away from me, it's more of, depriving me of my own IP.
I follow you. All right. I think that's slightly different in the case where it sounds like you were contracted, right, by that person. So that's more of a contractual dispute. But in terms of thought leadership, what you need to do is sever the relationship. Just it's done, and don't write anymore for that person, and don't show up for that person anymore. I mean, I think you just, at that point, it's just a clean sever. Yeah.
So, Paul, we've been talking a lot about leveling up within the industry. In the beginning, you talked about sector. How do we level up into the sector or grow beyond the industry? I know we're, baby steps, but what conversation do you have around that?
Okay, that's fair. And so it begins with truly being a thought leader within your niche. Mm-hmm. Because what I think a lot of people do, quite honestly, is they just consider themselves thought leaders. And even like, all right, and by the way, I'm not trying to call out anybody who's watching this right now, but I've seen this a lot. I've seen like people write in their bios, I'm a thought leader. Like, I'm a thought leader. But let me tell you this. This is like big brother talk, right? Because I love you. And I remember my mentor every time he used to say, I love you, he would then hit me with something to make me upset. This is what I have to say. I love you all, but please remove thought leader from your title. Because if you have to call yourself that, now granted, I've been teaching here, so I'm giving you what people have told me about myself, right?
Absolutely.
Don't put me in this category. But if you have to call yourself that in title, then chances are you are not being recognized as that. Mm-hmm. People should just recognize you as a thought leader. And how you get recognized is all these things that we're saying. Now, once you are truly recognized, and how do you know you're recognized? Influencers are in your community, right? Influencers are calling you. You're getting booked to do television shows, right? You are getting interviewed, right? You're getting interviewed all the time about what's happening. So, I mean, the point is that you know when you've reached the promised land of thought leadership, okay?
Right.
And when you have, and you want to keep elevating yourself, what do you need to do? This goes back to an earlier point you made, Hannah, which I thought was brilliant. And that is, there are three, excuse me, there are three different types of influencers. If you want the sector thought leadership, you need to go after the mega influencers, the biggest influencers on the planet. That's who you need to go after, right? That's who needs to recognize you, right? That's who you go to. So that's how you go up the chain. You then convert the largest entities who are influencers to become your true fan.
Paul, who was your person you felt that did that for you? Because I remember when they called you the modern day Hitch when the movie was coming out about the dating space. Was there an article or was there something that you felt elevated you to that level?
Yeah. Oh wow, that's a good one. Honestly, I think it was the Oprah affiliation. Yeah, I mean, I think that really cemented it. I think, so I love this question. Let me unpack it just a little bit. And I know, by the way, we're 2 hours in, but I see we still have 700 people live across all platforms. So we're gonna close out on this, right? We're gonna close out on this. Is that I was very methodical when I was building my brand early on, and I was methodical about association and what I call association climbing. And what that means, in my opinion, is you want to associate yourself with the strongest brand that's recognized by the influencers. So when I started, I realized I couldn't get on TV. I couldn't get play in a big magazine. So what I did first is I started hosting events, and I would bring in people who I consider to be micro influencers. So to this day, I'm really proud. If you read Very Smart Brothers with Champ and Panama Jackson, right? At that time, Jamila Lemieux was a blogger, right? There was just a whole bunch of folks. What I did is I would bring them in and I would host an event. I would have them speak at the event. And I knew that my brand association with them would level up to basically their standard, right? Then from there, I ended up getting a column on a magazine or a blog called Clutch. Clutch. I'll never forget it. Clutch was, in my mind, it was a level up, right? So then I started writing on Clutch. Then when I started writing for Clutch, then what happened is then Essence saw that I was writing for Clutch, and then I was able to level up to Essence and became a blogger for Essence. Then when I started doing all the Essence events, that gave me the credibility to level up to Oprah, to own. So all the way through, I was leveling up. Even after Oprah, I would be careful not to take certain projects. So the first project I took after Oprah was actually an NBC. It was a network show that didn't pan out. Then I took an ABC show. Now, this is true fact, and this is no diss to Mona Scott, because I love Mona. Mona has become a friend of mine, Mona Scott Young. When she started loving hip hop, she called me into her office in New York, and she was like, Paul, I'm getting ready to do this thing, Loving Hip Hop. I got Jim Jones, right? I want you to be the relationship person on this. And I was thinking to myself, oh man, I love Dipset. I love all that. Mona, I love you. But if I do this, does this look like I'm stepping down or stepping up from just being on Oprah, right? So I was like, oh, I can't do it. I want to, but I can't do it. And this is why you have to like, it's hard nosed. You have to be very curate, very, very methodical about your brand. So I was methodical not to take anything until I took an ABC show, which was like 2 or 3 years later. The point is that brand associations, very important. And you could level up, you could use your brand associations to climb up.
Awesome.
All right. All right, guys. I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna close out. This has been our longest. All right. I'm gonna tell you what, let's bring the tribe on one-on-one so we can figure out how we can help everybody individually. Let's start with number one on the mic. We have my man Thea. Thea, what can we do? What can everybody do right now to support you?
I guess the easiest way you could support me is just to connect with me. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook at Theophilus Griffin. That's a long name.
Okay.
Yep. THEO P as in Paul HILUS Griffin. It's the same across all platforms.
Okay.
I basically help develop people in business in the wellness and fitness industry.
All right. So this is it right here.
Got it.
Okay. On all platforms. That's my man, Theo. Theo, thank you very much. Round of applause, everybody. I see it. Round of applause. Theo, thank you for hanging in. This has been our longest, and I kept going back to the tribe. So thank you. Blessings.
Thank you.
All right, there he goes. There goes Theo. All right. We got my sis Hannah coming in. South Carolina. Hannah, how can we support you?
Well, first off, thank you for establishing this. I'm glad I was able to be a part of the tribe this week. I was really not envious, but excited about the opportunity in the future from watching last week's tribe. But folks can support me by visiting me on all platforms at HE Consulting or HE Consulting LLC, where my vision is to be your career concierge, to create a space where people and organizations can come together and explore and develop their new professional landscape. So whether that's individual one-on-one coaching, or looking at workplace assessments, or something as simple as creating a career path from searching for a career to writing a resume and preparing for your next interview, from entry level to C-suite. So again, thank you so much. And I really appreciate the involvement.
Hannah, thank you very much. Is this correct? HE Consulting LLC.com?
HEConsultinghr.com.
Oh, okay. Hold on real quick, guys. Get it right. HE Consulting
HR.
HR. Oh, HR. Okay. Makes sense. There you go. Consulting LLC.com or just?
Nope. Just HR.com.
All right. Come on, Paul. Get it right. Get it right. Come on. All right. So here we go. Let's make sure we give Hannah her respect. There we go. Hannah, that's it, right?
Yeah, HEConsultinghr.com.
Oh my gosh. Hold on, guys. Stop everything. HEConsultinghr.com.
Yes.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. This is it. I feel good about this one, Hannah. I feel good.
Magic.
There we go.
Cool. Thank you, Paul.
Hannah, thank you very much. Everybody, make sure you go support Hannah. There we go. All right, my sis Uduak, who was on Friday, says, this great, good job, panelists. Good job. Leon Harris says, thanks to the tribe. All right, so there's Hannah. Everybody say bye to Hannah. All right, we've got my sis Kemi. What can we do to support you?
Let me first of all by thanking you for the donkey years you've been my mentor. I've been so blessed, and we share so many values, and I will continue to be in the path and stalk you as much as I can. To support me, I encourage everybody. I'm a big speaker and writer and coach on finding your voice, finding yourself, healing from any inner childhood experiences that are actually the greatest stumbling blocks that we have and limit our mindsets. Connect with me on my website, www.kemshugunle.com. Get my books. They all have workbooks within them where you can begin to, figure out your own path and really find your voice and your true identity. Without your true identity, you can't really build healthy relationships. And the goal is always to have healthy relationships that make us become better, not remain bitter. So again, support me by visiting my website, read the articles. I'm on Essence. I'm on so many platforms, NBC, Bravo. I write for all those people on relationships, and it's just connecting to build healthier together. Connect with me on LinkedIn as well. I believe in building healthy relationships because that's what life is all about. And
Kemi, is this correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. Super.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. And also I want to tell you all too, is I know Kemi is a part of Knowledge Share, and she's, I think, in the top 1% of all the experts. So in Knowledge Share, right, Kemi gives free time, and the feedback has been outstanding on Kemi, like 5-star across. We're building out so many things with Knowledge Share. We're actually just so you all know, breaking news, we're building a website, a full Knowledge Share website right now. Just brought on the developer this weekend. So hopefully it'll be ready within 4 weeks. But long story short is we've started to collect feedback on all the experts, and Kemi's feedback is phenomenal. So there you go. So Kemi, thank you very much.
Let me know how I can help with the website as well.
All right, we'll do. I've learned that I need to start honoring when folks are asking to help me, especially with something that I need help on. So there you go. All right. Maybe you could test, Kemi. Maybe you could test.
Sure.
Okay, you could test. All right, cool. All right, we'll talk about it. All right, everybody, say goodbye to Kemi. Thank you very much. There's her website there. Let's try to bring on, oh man, Nikado. Let me see. Let's see. Can we hear you? Oh, I can't hear you. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Nikado, here's what I'm going to do. If you could write on a piece of paper how we can connect with you. I'm going to go to Brandon, and then you come up and you just flash it. Now, don't flash us, because I know how y'all do in Jamaica. I know you can flash us. Don't flash us, just flash us, if you know what I mean. Just give us a quick flash. This is not a real flash, but a little flash, all right? No. I mean a flash. All right, so this is my man, Brandon.
What's happening, Paul? This was awesome. Just first prayers, as you know, Paul, I shared with you. I'm phasing out with this COVID-19. I've been great. So just prayers, first of all. You know, I'm great. So that's transparency. I'm looking to build with everybody that's on the feed. So I'm doing great. That's number one. Also in the number 4, create my thought leader brand identity. I am the master networker. I build relationships. I make connections. I'm looking to help people. info@brandonvray.com is my email. My philosophy is called Synergy Me, really about the individuals creating synergy. I teach and give tips on people that are introverts that, you know, need help with networking. So a book will be coming out soon. So Paul, I'll be personally appealing to you for support in that aspect. But I'll be sharing articles too soon. But make it strategically by TUC. I'm going to make sure it's unmissable. You know, again, just prayers. And then also, if anybody has, I'm on Brandon V. Ray on Facebook. You can find me LinkedIn, Facebook, Brandon V. Ray. If anybody needs advice on networking, that is my skill set. That is my gift. That's what they say about me when I'm not in a room. So I'm looking to help people become master networkers. Synergy Me is my philosophy. That will be the book coming out soon. Nice. And I just appreciate you, Paul, always being a big brother to me and your support and advice, personal advice. And love you, brother, and God bless you, man. God bless everybody.
Brandon, much love. I want to say a couple of quick things about Brandon. This is the correct email, correct?
info@brandonvray.com. Yep.
Okay. All right. I want to say this. Honestly, guys, I put Brandon in top 1% in the world in terms of his ability to connect. Wow. And the fact that he put his email out here, I'm telling you, you better take advantage of this. Brandon has connected me to multiple organizations, multiple people, paid speaking, paid sponsorship stuff, right? I'm telling you, I'm like, he's done all of this. So retreats. Like, I mean, so look, first off, he's just a great guy, right? And his wife is just a great lady. But on top of it, he's put money in my pocket. So let me say this. So I love Brandon even more. So please use that. Also, too, I didn't want to say it at the top because I didn't know, Brandon, how you felt about it, but I'm glad you just mentioned it. He is coming out of COVID-19. He had coronavirus. He had to self-isolate, right? Thank God, prayerfully, right? He's feeling much better. But we want to continue to pray because we know about the after effects. So Brandon, man, thank you for participating in this, you know, and having gone through everything that you've gone through.
Definitely, brother. Appreciate you. See everybody later.
Much love, Brandon. All right, that's my man, Brandon Ray from Strong Island. Let's see. Last but not least, we're ready for the flash. We're ready for the flash. Get ready. Oh no, I don't know what's gonna do. Okay, here it is. I Am Nikado book. Okay. Heart. Oh, his book is Heart on Break. Facebook. Sorry, no sound. All right, keep it up. Let me put it on here. This is I Am. Oh, there's his book. Oh, he's flashing us the book. Here we go. I Am Nikado. All right. There we go. Here we go. I Am Nikado. Look at this. On IG. That's my man right there. He had the book. Strongest. Nikado, you win the award for strongest tribe participation with no sound. Now we know you set the bar so high. Now we know people don't even need sound. They don't even need sound, right? They don't even need sound. And that's probably because he's Jamaican. That's the reason why he could do all things, because he is Jamaican. All right, there goes my man. Much love, Nakata. All right, so now that rounds out today, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody for staying in. We went 2 hours. I think it deserved 2 hours. I promise not to go 2 hours in the future, but shout out to everybody who stayed with us all 2 hours. This Friday, I have something very special. I have a very special roundtable of experts lined up this Friday. It's going to be incredible. It's just going to be good. That's all I have to say. It's going to be good. I will see you all next week. Be safe. Actually, not next week. I'll see you all later this week. All right, guys, be safe. Take care. And I'll see you on